Okay. So he trashes my life for the last, what, 2.5, 3 years since he met this girl online who basically moved in and wanted him to move out the minute she got her claws in him. Needling. They destroyed my piano, anti-Chimay's piano. I wanted to keep that piano, but that's been all busted up and destroyed and gone. Threw out all my belongings in the living room and in the kitchen, basically, for what little I could bring upstairs, but the rest of it was just gone. Like, everything gone. Then they went for the 14-year-old food storage area and ripped that apart and kept that away from me for years before they ripped it apart and tore it apart and mixed it all up and fucking did whatever they wanted to do with it. And I still can't get to it. And then they went in to my cubby, tore that, and took everything out of there, and I don't know, took everything out of the underneath the steps, and I don't know, a bunch of shit ended up in the garage, and turned out some of that stuff ended up in the shed, which I never even knew about, but then it ended up in the bin because of what the landlord did and whatever, and they wanted my son's tools or whatever the fuck was in the garage, or just anything to get rid of everything. So all my shit that was in the shed, which was mostly non-profit shit, right? You know what I'm saying? My personal stuff that was in my cubby underneath my steps ended up in the shed, and then it ended up in the bin. So we're talking like 20 grand here since this girl moved into my house has been thrown out, people. I'm going to put it at 20 fucking grand and count, and more than that, right? As my food is being all mixed up, I haven't been able to get to it. I know some of it's missing. My son, I guess Marina seen a mouse tonight. I found a mouse, I don't know. And so he called me up, oh, you're going to help pay for, so-and-so. And I'm like, well, I don't want to pay for somebody to come and do, mouse traps and all that crap, because we can do that. But I've already, and stop talking to me disrespectfully, and are you going to pay or not? I said, well, yeah, right? So anyway, I call him back at some point. He calls me back, and I'm like, okay, well, if I'm going to pay for some guy to come here and do whatever, because I don't have this problem. Whatever was chewing up there has been gone for like 3 weeks to a month because the cats caught it. It's gone. It's not around anymore, okay? And in terms of mice, like, I don't have a problem with mice. If a mouse gets downstairs once in an odd blue moon, maybe, okay, I could see, like, the landlord never does anything when it comes to house maintenance. Like, they don't clean the gutters, the back door. Wait, I'm clearing out now so I can open it so I can get out on the porch and do porch repairs, which we know is just Mickey Mouse bullshit crap, right? You know what I'm saying? It's leaking like a sieve, and my stuff is getting ruined as usual, so that will be another $1,000, $2,000 worth of shit gone. You watch and see what's going to happen in the next couple of months when I get outside and have to deal with that shit, right? You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, that's not my son's fault, but everything else that was thrown out in the basement, damn right it was. And, like, you trashed the piano, you trashed my belongings, you trashed my fucking food, you locked me out, you made it so I couldn't go downstairs, you insulted me, blah, 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 blah. You prevent me from getting into whatever, okay? So, and so, Andre, shush up. So, so he comes upstairs, you go, oh, and I'm like, well, if I'm going to pay for some guy to come and, try and do whatever, right? As if I want rodents in the house. I don't. But for me, it's not personally a problem. It got a little nerve-wracking there when that thing was up there chewing, but like I said, it disappeared. It hasn't been back. And, right, the cats are always outside catching rodents because Surrey The whole province of British Columbia, Canada, is infested with rodents. Let's just be realistic about it, okay? So they're always on the patrol, right? And, right, sometimes they try and bring them in, they drop them down there at the doorstep, or they bring them inside or something, but for the most part, they're outside with them, right? Okay. You know, what are the cats? Oh, chasing rats. Oh, okay, Andre. So anyway, I said, well, if I'm going to pay, you need to make sure that they're going to go, and technically this is the landlord's responsibility, people. It really is. We have, Andre, be quiet. It's a wood siding, right? And then you get to the basement, which is halfway into the ground, right? So it's cement. So under the siding, you have to put foam to prevent rodents from crawling in, right? Through a hole. Or on other parts, there's bricks where some of the cement maybe needs to be patched up to prevent rodents, because they'll climb, right? Doesn't matter if it's a rat or a mouse, eh? Moles like to live in the ground, so we don't have to worry about a mole. But when it comes to a mouse or a rat, they climb, right? And so, all that brick with the cement in between needs to be checked. And if it needs to have a little filling in there to make it so nothing can crawl in, so be it. My son says, up by the meter reader, it's compromised in there, right? That could very well be something to crawl in. Or the dryer, it doesn't have a, right? So something could crawl in there. Also, too, they can get up into the soffits, right? Where the gutters are. They can get in that way into the house. They can also go up on the roof, which roof rats do, right? That's why they're called roof rats. And they crawl into the pipes. And that's how they get in, right? Into your house. Through the pipes. And if it's not that, it could be the sewer rats that, they're the roof, they're the big gray ones, right? They come in from pipes on the outside. It could be anywhere where it's compromised over time, right? They get rotten, eh? So, they get in and then they come in through the pipe, up through the toilets and shit. I don't think we have that problem. But, and I'm like, well, if I'm going to pay us, I want somebody to come and do all that shit. I asked my son to put the foam, to do these. Okay, fine. Technically, the landlord should be doing it. But yeah, I don't pay enough rent. It will be just another thing to hold against me. And who knows? Seriously, because she's paying. She doesn't even want to fix the freaking fence. Right? It's stupid. So now he's wanting me to pay something. First he wanted me to pay it all. Today he said pay part of it, right? I don't know. I guess half. I don't know. I don't know what part means. Who knows? All I know is that between my landlord and what my son has been doing, they're bankrupting me, people. I'm losing my stuff left, right, and center. You know what I'm saying? I can't get to things. Fuck, I paid for that shed. I paid Jerry to work in that shed. I worked on that shed, literally, right? I have videos to prove it. I had the city called on me because I had bought wood from Home Depot, new wood, beams or whatever Jerry needed, right? Plywood, whatever he wanted, I bought it. And because it sat out in the back there for a little while, it got me into trouble with the City of Surrey, right? I got videos of that, okay? You know what I'm saying? But yet I can't really use it because it was gutted. I don't know what's left in it. I mean, there's probably a few things left in there, but not very much. So, I'm losing it downstairs. I'm losing it in Shimei's room because shit's missing, people. I called my son on it today. I said, I need to ask you a question. He said, what? I said, well, before you went off and did whatever you did, I wanted you to help me to move a couple of things, right? And that didn't happen. So, when I came back after you were gone, I noticed that tall pile that with the jars on top, 1 quart size jars, full, people, kind of like this, on boxes that had been stacked, were gone. The jars were gone, and 2 or 3 boxes were gone. Where did they go, MarKeng? Did you move them? Because, right? Or he turned it into a great big freaking verbal debate. Tried to say that I was blind and I don't sleep well, and it was my imagination station that what I seen after Marina left when the freezer broke, and I went into the room and I seen that, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna ask my son to help me just get that shit out of that one corner, because I wanted to go into that room and move this closet thing, right? So it would make more room to put the whatever, right? But it didn't happen because he started ragging on me about the books. So versus becoming a nervous wreck, or having it turn into a hollering match as he was already starting with his antics, I said, forget it, that's okay, just leave it. Just go. Forget it. I'm going upstairs. He's going, no. I said, you're busy. You got to go anyway. So, I'm not. And I left. Well, he went behind my back, people, and he took shit out. And now he's accusing me of lying. And when I'm saying, well, no, I think you're the one that did it out of spite. I'm honest with him. But he can't be honest with me. Andre, shut up. Please. I know you're nattering. Can't be honest with me. It's not my right, because otherwise I wouldn't have asked them to move that for me, people. Because they've been moving my shit and they're just stacking my shit willy-nilly as they're emptying out those boxes. Jars are disappearing. Things are being mixed up. Yeah, okay. We were just in Auntie Shimei's room. Things were in boxes that didn't belong there because they belonged on that little brown shelf where the other things were in there. So whatever was in that box is gone. Like a stupid. So anyway, he didn't like the result he was getting from me. Because I'm like, no, it's, like, you can't, I'm like, I do every day. I get up between 4, 5, 6 in the morning normally, and I'm working right up until freaking nighttime. Okay? Every freaking day. I work harder now than I did when I had 5 kids, for crying out loud. Because I'm always going around cleaning up after people making a mess of my life. So now that he's made a big mess out of my life, practically destroyed my life, right? You know what I'm saying? Seriously. Now he's threatening to move out unless the issue is solved. What issue? Because we've got more than one issue. It's okay for Andre to get cheeky with me. Oh, yeah. And if I respond back and try and put him in check, ring, 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 ring. Well, why don't you tell Andre to shut the hell up and respect me? But that's not coming out of his mouth. No, he's feeding into, well, Nana's just got excuses. Don't worry. You have a right to have negative thoughts, negative emotions. It's all Nana's fault. Because he's playing into him, right? He's grooming him, right? For his agenda. Yeah. That's exactly what's happening. So, of course, like Andre's, right? MarKeng doesn't like you. Neither, when Andre's mad at me, I don't like you either. MarKeng doesn't like you. I can talk cheeky to you because MarKeng's going to side with me, right? Because, whatever. Like, it's bullshit. Bullshit. I told him, might be good for you. Oh, well, I'll make sure you're okay. Oh, what's that supposed to mean? Sure. I don't think so. A little freaking late, don't you think? You know what I'm saying? All that bullshit with the yard and everything. Where were you for the last 12 fucking years? You sure didn't help me. That's for sure. But you got the shed. Did you help to even hammer one freaking nail into that shed? Fuck no. But you threw everything out so you could take it over. And now that you got it, you're not even happy with it. Because he's right? Because this whatever he has is never satisfied with anything. All she ever wanted was for him to fucking move out. Why? What was the hard on that one? Because it's like a freaking hard on, man. Yeah. But whatever, I don't care. I'll deal with it. And when my landlord, get your stuff out of the bed, I'll be like, no, I rented the whole fucking house. Oh, well, you can't rent it out. I say, yes, I can. Fuck, I've had Austin Luck in here living, okay? Julian Johnson here living. Ken Surreal living here, okay? I don't know. MarKeng had one of his buddies move in and was living here for a while. Sierra moved in and lived here at some point for quite a long time, really, okay? I know, fucking, I'm going down swinging, people. I don't care. I don't fucking care. You ruin my life. You destroy my life. And then you think you can just, I don't know. Like, fuck, I want my piano back. You gonna fucking move? Go find me a 100-year-old piano that sounds like brand new. All it needed to be was a little tuned. I even bought the tuning equipment for it, people. I asked my son to help me to maybe try and tune it, and if I couldn't, figure it out, because I just needed him to open it up for me, right? And maybe we learn with Andre or something, right? I have all of it, the tuning kit, all of it, right? And what happened? They busted it up because that girl wanted more fucking space. Yeah, and she's still not fucking happy. Oh, whatever. I don't care. I fucking don't care. You threaten me with that now? Haven't you hurt me enough? Because you're so spiteful and vindictive and just whatever, like, it's bullshit. Bull fucking shit. You come back and what you gonna do? Mow the grass? Why? You tell Andre to mow the grass. You're not gonna mow no fucking grass. I mean, clearly you see me as a blind woman that gets very little sleep. Well, you're blind. Well, what would you know was going on, Shmi? You don't get very much sleep. Like, what the fuck? I seen what I seen. The jars were like that, quart size full, stacked on boxes that were teetering. Where they came from, I don't know. All I know is I asked him to help me to move it before he fucking left. So I could get in that corner, take out that shit, and rearrange it where the jars were like easy to get to, instead of having to reach like that and maybe have the whole thing fall over. You know what I'm saying? And that was be assuming that I could even go down there when they got back. Right? And he's accusing me of imaginating it. Like he's fucking retarded. I swear, something happened to him. So that's where I'm at with shit. You destroy my life. You screw me over. Not once, not twice. 3 or 4 times. Now it's going in for the kill. Bankrupting me. And you go just walk out. But, it is what it is. I don't feel abandoned. I feel betrayed. But I've been feeling betrayed for a very long time, okay? My son has absolutely no loyalty. And I'm not even going to put it on me. Because I have an extension of Andre. Of course, he's loyal to Andre because, you know, he's grooming him for something else at a later date. And that's only assuming that Andre can perform to his expectations. Yeah. And if he can't, he'll cut him loose. Like me. Just, yeah. All right. So, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Right? Because it's gonna I don't know, it's gonna be something else. Right? It is. It's been like that ever since the girl first stepped her foot through the door. That's it. He was going to move out. He told me he wanted to move out with her. But then Mrs. Gill started with her antics, with her, you know how it goes. Which reminds me, the MLA office called me, asked me if I had written my letter yet. I said, no, I've been busy. Right? You know, it got all this drama. Right? My freezers, not one, but two, blinked out on me. Well, one blinked out on me, the other one was unplugged. Right? And then my grandson had a seizure. You know, so I haven't had a chance to write anything yet. But it's on my mind. It's on my mind. Yeah. Because if he moves out, my landlord's going to expect to take on the basement, like take over the basement. And I got two rooms at least, and I use the basement, people. I use the basement, and you know, what if one of my kids start fighting or something with their blah 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 and want to come back home? Well, I still live here, right? I'm just saying, you can't throw, you know, you can't say, well, they're not on the lease because Austin Luck wasn't on the lease. She let him live here. Can't say fucking Julian Johnson wasn't on the lease, right? Because all she cared about was her rent. She just wanted her rent paid. He you know, Schmay paid his rent for the most part. There's a couple times he paid his $350 because that's what it was, right? But not very much. Austin never paid his $350. He lived here. He was supposed to, but he never did, right? Ken, he did. He paid his $350. He lived here for a year. And what that $350, where did it go? It went to my landlord, right? You know what I'm saying? So she can't say, well, kids at home. I'll be, yeah, I do. I got these ones upstairs, and I've got food downstairs, and I've got this, and another one still might come home, right? You can't just all of a sudden, well, you need to leave because the yard is just, they'll start up with the fucking yard again. Yeah, that's what will happen. Because that's always been what it's been about with that yard. And then I'll be at the MLA's office camping out with the kids every day, 5 hours a day. I'll be like sitting outside with them beside me with signs. Yeah. Yeah. Tenant harassment. Forcing me out into homelessness. Taking my house away after I gave up my life for them. As my son turned around and trashed my life to just because of whatever. Why would I do that? That's what I said, you know, you've been spiteful. Like, why? Oh, why? What makes you, you know, why do you think I would do that? I said, well, because power. You got power. It makes you, you know, feel strong, and you've got authority over me, right? You know? Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. I want my piano back. For everything that you put me fucking through, and since you brought this girl home, seriously, you go get me a fucking piano, okay? You clear your fucking shit out in the fucking basement and take it all. I don't care. It's your shit. I never, not once, ever fucking touch your fucking shit for as much as you guys did to me. But when you leave, you make sure there's a freaking piano down there, a stand-up piano like the one that you broke, the one that you had no respect for. Yeah. I don't care about replacing everything else, but please replace the piano. At least that. Because otherwise, you're a fucking train wreck. Yeah. That's what he's doing to me. Putting me on a train track and right. Be careful when you have kids. I'm telling you.